Welcome, beloved soul. You are here for a reason far deeper than you may realize. Not by coincidence, not by chance, not because of human will alone. You are here because heaven has been quietly working in the background of your life. And today, I feel led to tell you something the angels have been whispering over you. God has reunited you with this person for a marriage, destined in heaven. This is not ordinary love. This is not just two lives crossing paths. This is the return of two hearts that were written together in the same line of God's book. You may have wondered, why did we drift apart before? Why did the seasons separate us? And yet now, here you are again, reunited, drawn back to each other, not by effort alone, but by a divine pull that feels unexplainable. The truth is, sometimes God allows a pause, a distance, a space in between, because love that is meant to last forever must be refined. It must be tested. It must be prepared. And sometimes, preparation requires separation. But beloved, the angels are showing me that separation has ended. The chapter of waiting has closed. The season of reunion has begun. When God sends two people apart, it is not always to end the story. Sometimes it is to protect the story, to allow each heart to heal, to grow, to stand on its own before being joined as one. You are not just coming back to each other. You are coming back new, stronger, wiser, more surrendered to God's will. This is why the angels say, this time it will last. This time the roots will go deep. This time it will not be easily shaken, because this is not just your plan. It is God's plan. Beloved, when heaven ordains a marriage, it is not simply about companionship. It is about kingdom work. It is about two lives merging for a purpose far greater than romance alone. You and this person, your union carries weight in the spirit. Your joining will bless not only you, but others who witness it. Your love will be a testimony. That is why the enemy tried to separate you. That is why there were seasons of confusion, doubt, and silence. Because a marriage destined in heaven is a threat to darkness. But here is the beautiful truth. What God ordains, no force of darkness can destroy. If you are hearing this, it is because the Lord wants you to know you are stepping into His promise. And even if there is still a little uncertainty in your heart, that's okay. God is not asking you to have it all figured out. He is asking you to trust the steps He's laying before you. Look at the way things have come together. The timing. The unexpected ways your paths have crossed again. The gentle tug in your spirit that says, this is different now. That tug is the Holy Spirit. That peace is confirmation. So do not let fear speak louder than faith. Do not let memories of the past make you doubt the present. God has done a new thing in both of you. Beloved, take a deep breath with me. Let it fill you with peace. Let it settle your spirit, because you are safe in this story. You are safe in God's timing. You are safe in the hands that have been guiding you both all along. And now, heaven is celebrating your reunion. Before we continue, I want to gently invite you, if this message is speaking to your heart, if it feels like it was meant for you, please consider subscribing to this channel for more peaceful spiritual guidance. Your presence here helps keep this space alive for other souls who need these words. You can also share this with someone whose heart may need a reminder that God's timing is perfect. And if you feel led, leaving a comment with your reflections or prayer requests allows us to lift each other up as a community. Beloved, do you feel it? That quiet sense that something sacred is unfolding. That is the Spirit affirming what you've known deep down. This reunion was not random. It was written. Even before you met for the first time, heaven had already chosen you for each other. Even before you spoke your first words, God had already connected your stories in eternity. Some love stories are born in the moment, but others are born before time began, and yours is the latter. This is why even distance could not erase it. This is why silence could not kill it. Because when love is rooted in God's will, it does not wither in the winter. It waits for spring. And beloved, spring is here. The angels want you to know there will still be moments when you question the path. Not because it is wrong, but because the human heart can tremble even when walking in the right direction. But in those moments, remember this: God is not only reuniting you with this person, He is reuniting you with a version of yourself that is more whole, more grounded, more ready to love with His love. This time, your love will be built on prayer, on forgiveness, on patient understanding, on daily surrender to the one who brought you together. So do not rush, do not force, do not let fear make you grasp too tightly. Instead, rest in God's pace. Let Him be the one to lead, because in a marriage destined in heaven, it is not the couple who writes the vows, it is God who writes them on your hearts. Beloved, this is holy ground you are walking on, and you are not walking alone. Beloved soul, let us begin again with a still heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a slow, deep breath. Let it remind you that the same God who breathed life into you is the one who has been breathing life into this love. Heaven has not been silent about this. The angels are still speaking, and their message remains clear. Your reunion is not just a second chance. It is a sacred assignment. You see, a heavenly marriage is not built only for comfort, but for calling. It is not just about what you will receive from each other, but about what God will do through you together. From the beginning, He has been weaving your lives like threads in the same tapestry. Even when you were far apart, the threads did not break. They only grew longer, waiting for the moment they would be tied again in His perfect pattern. Think about it. How many things had to align for you to cross paths again? How many prayers, spoken or unspoken, went before you? How many unseen battles did God fight on your behalf so that this reunion could happen at the right time, in the right way? This is why I tell you, it was never luck. It was never an accident. It was always Him. Beloved, there is a reason this love feels different now. It is because you both have been changed by God's hand. Your hearts have been softened. Your eyes see with more clarity. Your love is now rooted not in the fragile soil of human emotion, but in the deep bedrock of God's promise. The angels are rejoicing because they see what is coming. They see the blessings that will flow from this union. They see the ways you will lift each other toward heaven, not pull each other toward the world. But they also want to prepare you. A marriage destined in heaven will not go unnoticed in the spirit realm. Just as angels celebrate, the enemy will take notice too. And so you must guard this love with prayer. You must keep Christ at the center so no storm can uproot what God has planted. Beloved, hear me. You will need patience. You will need humility. You will need the kind of grace that only comes from God. Because marriage is not only about loving when it is easy, but about staying when it is hard. It is about choosing each other in every season, not only in the bright ones. It is about remembering that you are not just two people, but one flesh under God's covenant. And when challenges come, you will need to remember this very moment. This word, this confirmation that heaven is the one who brought you together. If God has united you, He will sustain you. If He has called you to it, He will carry you through it. This is the beauty of a heaven-written love. It does not depend on your strength alone. It rests in His. Now, beloved, let me speak to the tenderness in your heart. Perhaps you have been afraid that this reunion is too fragile, that it might break again. Perhaps you have been wondering if the past will repeat itself. The angels say, release that fear. Do not let yesterday's shadows darken today's light. God has done something new. And what is new in Him is not bound by the mistakes of before. You are not the same. They are not the same. And most importantly, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And his plan for you has not changed. So walk forward with open hands. Do not cling out of fear, hold in trust. Because love that is held with trust grows. But love that is held with fear suffocates. Beloved, your marriage will be a ministry. Whether you speak from a platform or simply live quietly, your union will preach a silent sermon to those who see it. It will speak of restoration. It will speak of God's timing. It will speak of the kind of love that waits, returns, and remains. And the angels say, this is exactly why God brought you back together now. Not earlier, not later. But now. Because now your hearts are ready to reflect his love. If these words are touching something deep in your soul, I invite you, with gentleness, to stay connected here. Subscribe if you have not already, so these quiet reminders of God's presence can continue to meet you in your journey. If you feel led, share this message with someone whose heart might be aching for hope. Leave a comment with your reflections or prayer requests. We are a family here, and your words can encourage someone else who is listening. And if this message has blessed you, a super thanks offering goes toward keeping these messages alive for others searching for peace. It is not just support for a channel. It is planting seeds for more hearts to be reached. Beloved, there is something else the angels want me to remind you of. When God reunites two people for a heavenly marriage, the relationship is not built on just passion or convenience. It is built on service. Service to one another. Service to God. Service to the mission he places in your shared life. And when you serve each other with the humility of Christ, love becomes unshakable. Because love in its purest form is not a feeling, it is a choice. A daily sacred choice. That is the kind of love heaven is calling you into. That is the kind of marriage God is blessing. So, my dear one, prepare your heart. Not just for the joy, though joy will overflow, but also for the sacred responsibility of guarding, nurturing, and honoring this union as a gift straight from God's hand. When you look into their eyes, see not only the one you love, but the one God chose for you before you even knew their name. When you hold their hand, remember you are holding a promise heaven has been keeping safe for years. And every day, give thanks, even on the ordinary days, even when nothing extraordinary seems to be happening. Because the very fact that you are together is a miracle. This, beloved, is your divine reunion. Beloved soul, we meet here once more. And in this moment, I want you to feel the weight of what heaven is doing in your life. Not a heavy weight, but a holy one, the kind that makes you pause, the kind that humbles you. In gratitude, because God is not only writing your love story, he is fulfilling a promise. When the angels say this marriage is destined in heaven, they mean it is sealed in a place untouched by time or decay. It is not fragile the way earthly plans can be fragile. It is not uncertain the way human promises can be uncertain. It is anchored in eternity. This reunion is a sign that what God begins, he finishes. What he ordains, he sustains. What he joins, he protects. Beloved, do you remember the times you cried out to him? The nights you prayed for clarity? The days you felt unsure if your heart would ever find rest? Those moments were not wasted. Every tear was seen. Every whisper was heard. Every silence was filled with his working. And now he is showing you the fruit of that trust. The answer is not just the person standing beside you. It is the love he has grown between you. A love refined by patience. A love matured through surrender. The angels are rejoicing because you have stepped into a covenant moment. A moment when heaven's plan and earth's reality align. And when that happens, nothing can stand against it. But beloved, I must speak truth to you. A heavenly marriage is beautiful, but it is also a calling. It will require prayer. It will require daily surrender. It will require seeing each other not only through human eyes, but through the eyes of Christ. Some days that will feel effortless. Other days, it will feel like work. But both are holy. Because love is not measured by how easy it feels, but by how faithfully it is chosen. When storms come, and they will, remember this reunion. Remember that it was God's hands that brought you back together, not chance, not accident. God Himself. And if He brought you back together, He will walk with you through every season ahead. Beloved, the angels want you to know that your marriage is not just for you. It is for generations after you. It is for friends who will see your story and believe again in love. It is for strangers who will hear how you reunited and be reminded that God's timing is always perfect. You may think your story is quiet, but in the Spirit, it is echoing far and wide. Do not underestimate what God can do with two willing hearts. Do not think you must be perfect to be used. God delights in using those who remain humble, surrendered, and ready to love with His love. And that, beloved, is what you now carry. Let your home be a place where Christ is welcome in every conversation, every decision, every moment of joy and trial alike. Let prayer be the foundation you return to, not the last resort you run to in trouble. Let forgiveness flow freely, because you will need it, both to give and receive. This is how marriage, destined in heaven, remains strong on earth. Beloved, as I speak these words, I see in my spirit a table being set before you. On it are blessings you did not even know to ask for, peace you did not know you could have, opportunities you could not have created yourself. This is what happens when you walk in step with God's plan. His goodness overflows into places you didn't even know were empty. So walk forward in gratitude. Walk forward in humility. Walk forward knowing that this is not just the return of love, but the beginning of a holy partnership. If this message has spoken to your heart, I invite you to join this space if you have not already. Subscribe for more peaceful words to guide your spirit. Share this message with someone who needs the reminder that God can restore what seems lost. Leave a comment with your reflections or prayer requests. We lift each other here. And if you feel led, a super thanks helps these messages continue to reach more souls who need peace. Your support is not just for a channel, it is for the ministry of encouragement. Beloved, the angels are smiling over you now, because you have said yes. Yes to God's timing, yes to His way, yes to His choice for your heart. You have stepped into a covenant that will not only bless your life, but will ripple through eternity. So take their hand. Walk into this future together. And every day, remember, this was written in heaven long before it was lived on earth. This is your sacred union. This is God's promise fulfilled. And the angels say, it is only the beginning. Beloved soul, I feel the need to remind you again, you are living inside a promise. Not every love story is written in heaven, but yours is. Not every reunion carries the fingerprints of God, but yours does. And when God has marked something as His, it will carry a different kind of peace. You may have noticed it already. The peace that comes when you sit with them. The stillness in your spirit when you look into their eyes. The quiet voice in your heart that says, this is right. This is mine. This is safe. That peace is not just comfort. It is confirmation. It is God whispering that you are standing on holy ground. But beloved, even in a story written by God, there is still a journey to walk. Even a marriage destined in heaven must be tended like a garden on earth. It needs prayer as water. It needs trust as sunlight. It needs patience as fertile soil. Do not be fooled into thinking that because it is God's plan, there will be no challenges. Even roses have thorns. But when the gardener is the Lord Himself, the thorns cannot destroy the beauty. The angels say your love is now entering a season of establishment. A time when your roots must go deeper. A time when your bond will be tested not to break it, but to strengthen it. And this is where faith becomes essential. Faith that does not lean only on what you feel in the moment, but on what you know to be true in the Spirit. When your emotions waver, hold on to the truth that God is in this. When misunderstandings arise, remember that grace is more powerful than pride. When the pace of your journey feels slow, trust that heaven is never late. Beloved, your union is not just about personal happiness. It is a light, a lamp that will burn in the dark to guide others toward hope. People will look at the two of you and see proof that restoration is possible, that God can rewrite endings, that love is strongest when God is the author. This is why the enemy fought so hard to keep you apart. Not because you were weak, but because together, under God, you are strong. Now you must protect what has been restored. Not with fear, but with devotion. Not by building walls, but by building an altar in your relationship where God's presence is always welcome. Beloved, hear this. A marriage destined in heaven is more than a covenant between two people. It is a covenant with God. You are not just saying yes to each other. You are saying yes to Him. So keep Him at the center. Pray together, even when it feels awkward at first. Read His Word together, even if it is just one verse a day. Speak blessings over one another, even when you don't feel like it. These small acts build a fortress around your love. If these words have been stirring your heart, I gently encourage you to stay connected here. Subscribe for more messages that remind you of God's presence in your journey. Share this with someone who needs the reassurance that His timing is perfect. And if you feel led, leave your reflections or prayer requests in the comments. Your words can encourage another soul who is listening. If this message has blessed you, a super thanks can help keep this channel a place of peace for others who are searching for hope. Beloved, the angels are not only witnesses to your reunion, they are helpers in it. They are ministering spirits sent to guide, protect, and strengthen you as you walk into this calling. When you feel weary, call upon them in prayer. When you feel unsure, ask God to send them to reassure you. You are not walking this path alone. Every step is accompanied. Every day is covered. Every moment is seen. And in the quiet, you may just hear it, the sound of heaven's applause for two hearts who have surrendered to the will of God. Beloved, you have stepped into a story that will echo long after you are gone. Your love will not only live in your lifetime, it will inspire faith in others for years to come, and that is the power of a marriage destined in heaven. Beloved soul, I want you to take a moment and think about the way your paths crossed again. Was it unexpected? Was it so perfectly timed that you could not have arranged it yourself? That was no accident. That was not the universe aligning. That was the Creator's hand, moving pieces you could not see, arranging details you could not have known, and opening doors you could not have unlocked on your own. The angels have been watching over this reunion for longer than you can imagine. They saw the day you both walked away. They saw the tears you tried to hide. They saw the silent prayers that left your lips without sound. And they also saw the day God whispered, "It is time." They saw when He began to move you back into each other's path. They saw when your hearts began to soften again. They saw when the walls you built started to crumble under the gentle weight of His love. Beloved, heaven rejoices not only when two people fall in love, it rejoices when two people return to a love God Himself planted, and this time, it is different. The first time you may have been running ahead of God's timing. The first time you may have been unprepared for the weight of what this kind of love required. The first time you may not have understood the sacredness of what you were holding, but now, you see, now you know. You value it the way heaven values it. This is not just a second chance. It is a redeemed chance. It is not only a reunion of hearts, it is a reunion of purpose. You are not being called to simply enjoy each other's presence. You are being called to serve God together. When a marriage is destined in heaven, it is never only about the joy it brings to the couple. It is also about the impact it will have on the kingdom. Your love is an instrument in His hands. It is a message the world can read without words. When people see you together, they will see that restoration is possible. They will see that God can bring life back to what was once broken. They will see that His timing is always better than ours. And that is why, beloved, you must protect this gift with all your heart. There will be moments when you are tempted to handle things in your own strength. There will be moments when old fears try to creep back in. There will be moments when the enemy whispers, "It will end the way it did before." But you must answer those lies with the truth. This is God's work, and what He ordains cannot be undone. Beloved, lean into prayer like never before. Not just when there is a problem, but as a daily rhythm. Hold hands and talk to God together. Cover each other in intercession. Speak life over one another, even in moments of frustration. Because prayer is not only a shield, it is a bond. It binds your hearts together in ways nothing else can. And remember this, forgiveness will be your anchor. Not because you will intentionally hurt each other, but because human hearts are imperfect. Even in the most loving marriages, misunderstandings happen. But in a heaven-ordained marriage, forgiveness flows freely, because you know that grace is the soil in which love grows strongest. If this word is touching you deeply, I humbly ask you to remain connected here. Subscribe for more peaceful, Spirit-led guidance to walk in God's timing. Share this message with someone who is believing for restoration in their own life. Leave your reflections or prayer requests in the comments so we can stand together in faith. And if you feel led, a super thanks helps keep this ministry of encouragement alive, reaching souls who desperately need peace. Beloved, the angels are showing me an image of two hands clasped together, not holding in fear, but holding in confidence. Confidence that no matter what lies ahead, God will be in the center. This time, your love is not built on fleeting feelings. It is built on the unshakable truth of God's Word. This time, you are not walking toward each other alone. You are walking together toward Him. And that is why this time it will stand. You may not see every step ahead. You may not know how every prayer will be answered. But you do know this. You have been reunited for a reason. And that reason is as eternal as the God who brought you back together. So walk forward with gratitude. Walk forward with faith. Walk forward knowing that your love story is not just for you. It is for heaven's glory. Because, beloved, God has not just reunited you. He has recommissioned you. And the angels say, the best chapters are still to come, beloved. There comes a time when heaven begins to weave threads together so delicately, so intentionally, that even the winds seem to hold their breath. It is in these moments that prayers whispered in tears, petitions laid at the feet of God, and longings you could barely give voice to, begin to take shape in the quiet unseen. This is where you are now. And this is where they are too, the one who once searched for love in every direction but yours. The one who thought they would find joy in places that glittered but were not gold. The one who believed their happiness was somewhere out there, has now found themselves circling back, not by their own cleverness, but by the hand of God, God's way of redirecting the heart. Do you remember when you prayed and said, Lord, if this person is meant for me, let them see me through your eyes? You might have wondered if heaven heard you. You might have thought God had been silent, but silence from heaven is never absence. Sometimes silence means God is still working, still arranging circumstances, still softening hearts, still preparing the soil for a seed to take root. While you went about your days, sometimes with hope, sometimes with aching, God was touching their spirit in ways you couldn't see. He was closing doors that didn't lead to you. He was letting the shine fade from distractions that were never meant to last. He was letting them discover, one hard step at a time, that nothing felt like home except your presence. The moment their heart realized, it didn't happen in one dramatic instant. Beloved, it happened like a slow sunrise, one small ray at a time. Until suddenly the whole horizon was bathed in light. They started remembering your voice, not as just another sound, but as a safe place. They began replaying moments when your kindness met them at their lowest. They realized that while others tried to impress them, you always tried to understand them. And then, one day, they knew. The love they'd been searching for wasn't in the world, it was in you. You were not just someone they once cared for. You were the answer to the prayer they didn't know they were praying. Why God waited, beloved. Sometimes God doesn't bring someone to you right away, not because He's denying you, but because He's protecting you. He knew they needed to grow before they could truly cherish you. He knew you needed to heal before you could truly receive them. Had they come to you too soon, their love might have been unsteady. Had you held them before you were ready, you might have feared losing them. But now both of you stand on ground that has been prepared by trials, softened by grace, and watered by prayer. This time is different. This return is not like before. They are not coming back out of loneliness. They are coming back out of revelation. They have tasted the world and found it empty without you. They have looked at the future and realized it is meaningless if it doesn't include your hand in theirs. And you have been learning the strength of waiting, the beauty of trusting, and the peace that comes from knowing God's timing cannot be rushed. The blessing of mutual understanding when they stand before you this time. They will not be the same person who left. Their words will carry humility because life has humbled them. Their love will carry depth because they now understand what it means to lose and to value. Their promises will not be hurried or careless. They will be deliberate, prayed over, and anchored in a desire to honor God through honoring you. An invitation to prepare, beloved. This is not the moment to harden your heart out of fear. This is the moment to stay close to God, to let Him show you how to respond in love and wisdom. You don't need to decide everything today. You only need to keep your heart open enough for God to do what only He can do. Pray for clarity. Pray for discernment. Pray for the courage to embrace what you once thought you had lost. And when they finally speak the words they've been carrying, the words that say, "I see now," you've always been the one. You will understand that. The delay was not denial, it was divine preparation. It was God making sure that when love came back to you, it would be ready to stay.